Hello, my name is Tosh. Today I'm going to be talking about verb conjugation in Japanese, present tense and future tense. Let's get into it. So how do we conjugate verbs in Japanese present tense? So how? So there are actually three types of verbs in Japanese: ru verb, u verb, and irregular verbs. And each of them have different conjugation. So I'm going to explain one by one today. And then when I say present tense in Japanese, it means regular actions. For example, I sometimes watch movies. I often play golf, for example. So these actions are present tense in Japanese, regular actions. So it doesn't mean I'm watching TV right now, or it doesn't mean I am playing golf right now. It's just something you do regularly. So that's the present tense. And another thing great about Japanese verb, if you use present tense, you can also describe future actions. For example, if you use the present tense and then say, for example, tomorrow I watch a movie, it's gonna be future tense. So you don't need to learn future conjugation in Japanese. In English, you have to say I will do something, I am going to, blah blah blah. But in Japanese, you can use exactly the same conjugation, and then you can describe future actions. That is also why you want to be careful with the context, because verbs look exactly the same. You get the meaning if it's present tense or future tense from the context. Then there are different types of formality in Japanese. Informal, when you talk to your family or close friends. When you talk to a shop attendant or strangers, you use semi-formal speech. And in a business situation, it has to be even more formal. So today's lesson, we're going to talk about semi-formal speech, a verb conjugation. So let's start from ru verb. What is ru verb? So for example, 食べる to eat, 寝る to sleep, 見る to see. As you can see, all verbs ending have ru. So ru verb always end with ru. And then how do we use these verbs? Ru verb, when you conjugate, what you need to do is just drop ru at the end and you add mas and masen. Mas for affirmative and then masen for negative. Let's take a look at the example. 食べる. You drop ru and add mas and masen. It's gonna be 食べます I eat. 食べません I don't eat. And for next one. 寝る I sleep. 寝ます 寝ません I don't sleep. And of course, same for next one. 見る 見ます I see. 見ません I don't see. So that's the ru verb conjugation. Very easy and simple. And now let's take a look at the u verb. Next one. So u verb, they look like this. 行く to go, 飲む to drink, 話す to speak. As you can see, ending doesn't have to be ru. Could be ku, could be mu, could be su, any of these. Okay? And when you conjugate, what you need to do is drop final u sound and you add imasu for affirmative, imasen for negative. What does it mean? Let's take a look. Iku, ku of course has u sound. What you want to do is just drop this sound and add imasu, imasen. So, ikimasu, I go. Ikimasen, I don't go. And for next one, nomu to drink. Nomimasu, I drink. Nomimasen, I don't drink. And then same for next one. Hanasu, hanashimasu, I speak. Hanashimasen, I don't speak. And there's something you want to be careful with u verb. So u verb, sometimes ending could be ru, even though they are not ru verbs. For example, there are aru, uru, toru, okiru, taberu. They all have ru ending, but some of them are ru verb. Some of them are u verb. So how do we find it out? So I want you to take a look at the sound right before ru. When they have a, u, or o right before ru, they are actually always u verb. And then 起きる、食べる as i and e. In this case, actually, they're mostly u verb. But sometimes there are exceptions. 入る、帰る, they have i and e, but they are not u verbs. They are u verbs. So what I want to say here is whenever you see ru at the end, doesn't necessarily mean they're always ru verb. So whenever you learn verbs, especially with ru ending, I want you to pay extra attention. Okay, let's take a look at irregular verb. Irregular verb is very easy because there are only two irregular in Japanese. Unlike in English, there are so many irregular verbs, but in Japanese, suru, suru, furu, become, that's it. And how do we conjugate? Conjugation is not too difficult as well. So what you need to do is keep the first consonant, first letter of the consonant, and then you add imasu, imasen. So how does it look like? Suru, drop everything except first consonant. It's gonna be suru, shimasu, I do, shimasen, I don't do. Same for to come, furu, kimasu, I come, kimasen, I don't come. And then for these, you often see compound verb. For example, 勉強. 勉強 means study as a noun, not to study as a noun. Same for next one. 料理, cooking as a noun. You can actually combine these with suru. To do study in Japanese, 勉強する. This is how we say to study. So it's a compound verb. Okay, so when you conjugate, it's going to be 勉強します. Then 料理する, to cook, 料理します. I cook. So just because they have suru at the end of the verb, they are also irregular verbs. But simply, you just need to conjugate suru at the end. Okay, so that's how to conjugate Japanese verb, present tense and future tense. Now let's see examples. For example, will you sleep already? もう寝ますか? もう寝ますか? I often watch it. よく見ます. よく見ます. Kimura will not go today. Negative sentence. 木村さんは今日行きません. 木村さんは今日行きません. I will talk later. 後で話します. 後で話します. Will Sasaki come tomorrow? 佐々木さんは明日来ますか? 佐々木さんは明日来ますか? I study every day. 毎日勉強します. 毎日勉強します. So as you can see from the examples, depending on the context, sometimes it's a future tense, sometimes it's a regular action, present tense. Now let's practice together. First one, I will sleep, future tense. Okay, so sleep in Japanese is neru. So can you conjugate this verb? Neru is a ru verb. So can you make this sentence? 寝ます. 寝ます. Okay, let's move on. Next one. Today, I will not go. Today in Japanese is 今日. Go in Japanese is 行く. And it's a u verb. So how would you make this sentence? 今日行きません. 今日行きません. The next sentence. Every day. Do you study? Do you study every day? So every day in Japanese is 毎日. Study in Japanese is 勉強する. And just because in Japanese we tend to say time in the beginning, I just put every day in the beginning of the sentence. So can you conjugate this verb? It's a compound verb. Suru is irregular. So how would you say? 毎日勉強しますか? 毎日勉強しますか? The next sentence. I often drink. Often in Japanese is よく. Drink in Japanese is 飲む, which is u verb. So can you conjugate this verb and then make this sentence? よく飲みます。よく飲みます。Then next one. Tomorrow will Jim come? Tomorrow in Japanese is 明日. Then come in Japanese is 来る, which is again irregular verb. So how would you describe this sentence in Japanese? 明日ジムさんは来ますか? 明日ジムさんは来ますか? Okay, so that's how you say. Okay, so that's how you conjugate Japanese verb and describe present tense and future tense. I hope you learned something new today. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up and then subscribe to my channel. If you have any comment or request, please let me know in the comment section. And if you can use this Japanese verb, either present tense or future tense, and describe what you do or what you will do, please try and let me see in the comment section. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. じゃあまた。